Germany is the biggest producer of meat in the EU, and somehow this production, which Germany is making a lot of money of, is linked to a part of the world very, very far away, to the Amazon. That is one of our most valuable ecosystems. And we here are responsible with our end of the supply chain for the destruction on a very, very different part of the world. We actually had a lot of information. I did the field research in the Brazilian Amazon. I spent a few weeks there retracing the soy supply chain beginning there. And I tried to speak to everyone involved in the supply chain. So from local NGOs to indigenous communities. I spent a few days with an indigenous community, to soy farmers and soy truck drivers. So everybody basically involved in the chain. And then we, on the other hand, we also had a lot of data. So we had satellite data, we had trade data, we had ship data. And this data I analyzed together with my colleague from Die Zeit, Claudia Valentin. And then at the very end, we also had a lot of folders, so a lot of documents, a lot of websites to check all of the information the supermarkets on the other hand of the supply chain in Germany were providing. So what were they saying or promising, what they would actually do. And then we compared this to our results of the research of the rest of the data. One thing that made it difficult is the product, the good itself. So soy is transported in bulk. So from the very beginning, it is mixed and it's put in a vehicle, and then it's put in a silo, and then it's put in a huge ship that crosses the ocean to Europe. And then here again, it's mixed in another silo and put in another truck. So it's very, very difficult to actually trace the physical good. Well, I would say it's not possible to trace the physical soy from one field to the actual place where it ends. So we had to deal with the available data, because that is actually available. So if you have a meta perspective, you know how much soy reaches Germany and how much is coming from areas that have been cleared illegally. But to link the very bottom of the story, so the product, with the data surrounding it, I think that was the biggest challenge. And another challenge was that many people involved in the supply chain didn't really want to talk to journalists. So they're not such big fans of the press. Just think of like a soy farmer. Soy farmers are often have a political position close to Bolsonaro, and they are not very fond of talking to the Brazilian press, and also not to the European press. So it was not easy to gain access to the people to talk to, but I was really happy that we managed to do that. So we used a lot of satellite data to analyze the question of how much forest was actually lost and how much soy was planted. And for that, we, for example, used the Planet Lab satellite. And we had some data that was provided by the University of Maryland about the soy area planted in the last years. And then for the forest loss data, we also had data from the platform Global Forest Watch, and we also used some we used the platform to calculate some of the forest loss of the Munduruku area, which was also the area where I traveled to in Brazil. And then for the system of land ownership, we used the platform CAR, which is the platform from the Brazilian Ministry of Environment, and there we just downloaded the official data to check who registered there and which how much land is actually registered overlappingly. So what is overlapping? So registered on top of each other, and maybe also registered on protected area. For me, the team aspect is the most important aspect. So I think a good team with different skills is key to such a story. So as I said, I had a very good stringer in Brazil who helped me with the organization of appointments when people were not so willing to make appointments with me. I had an amazing photographer, but then I also had support on the data end. So I had two colleagues from the Zeit, Claudia Valentine and Flavio Gortana, which helped me with all of the data I mentioned.